Majo John Madden in the port of Veracruz. I'm going to take these auricularis headset off of my head because it's flashing blue light. That's pretty distracting. I've been making videos this morning telling some of the story of my life, and the spiritual teacher, I've been influenced by a lot of spiritual teachers over a very long life. The one that has hit me most between the eyes and most recently for the last 20 years was a guy named Ramana Maharshi. People call him the great saint of Arunachala. And he's had very popular followers, three generations now of teachers, or two, I guess maybe two generations, I'm not sure, because he's been gone for a while, that teaches stuff. Maybe change it in some ways, but mostly teach what he was teaching. And the core of his teaching was non-dualism, that we are all part of everything in a radical way, and that the goal of human life is to wake up to that truth, that we're one with everything. I have been telling the story of the 3 chapters of my life. The first chapter was a lot of success, coming up from working poor to first generation in my family to go to college, which happened, baby boomers. I was born in '46, first year of the baby boom, and a lot of that happened. That working poor I went to Loyola Chicago, which is a working class school, and then got my Ph.D. at Rochester, which is a rich person's school out in Rochester, New York. And then ended up, after 20 years of practicing as a psychologist, working at AT&T, which at that point was the biggest company in the world. And it was kind of a fluke that a psychologist got a job like that. And I was working with vice presidents at AT&T. And one way I tell my story, because Ramana Maharshi says the real deal is find out who you are, who you really are. When you crack that question, then everything opens up for you. So, because I had a second chapter that was all about being misdiagnosed as bipolar and 30 years of terrible meds, and essentially emotional agony for 30 years, I can laugh about it now, but I was walking with the possibility of suicide for most of those 30 years. And then June 26th of 2019, I snapped and woke up, and I'm happy ever since. So those are the 3 chapters. But that has left me really sitting with Ramana Maharshi's question, like, who am I now anyway? And I keep changing, keep having all these amazing spiritual experiences, and keep trying to teach. I am essentially always been a teacher, and my modality mostly is videos these days. And I was on TikTok for a long time and had almost 1,000 followers. That's the point at which you can start doing live streams, which I wanted to do. But because the sliver of the public that uses TikTok is so slender, it's a lot of young people, mostly 20s. I think that's their largest population. And a video I would put on TikTok could reach 1,000, 1,500 people would see that video, or at least parts of it. It didn't have very good stats as to how much they actually watched. But now I'm on YouTube because it reaches kind of everybody. Almost everybody uses YouTube one way or another. And but like 60 or 70 followers after almost a year of YouTube. So I haven't cracked the code. I'm organizing my message in different ways. My specialty in a way is happiness, because I was so unhappy and now I'm so happy. So I'm organizing a lot of my videos under the theme of how to be happy. And I'm up to like 22 what I'm calling secrets, things you can actually do, how to use your time and your energy. And just listening to the videos, watching the videos is part of that process. But I haven't I'm starting to load that up in the description section, all the videos I have so far. I want to have a channel that's separately just for that, and I haven't quite done that yet. But for a long time, the bogey was to get my videos online at all. It was all blogs, pretty primitive in some ways. And for, I think, a year and a half, people were telling me to get a YouTube channel, and I've been doing that for a year. So it's getting better. It's all available to people. I can hand people my card, and they pop up my YouTube channel in their phone right there, and they go, oh, there you are. Okay, well, I'll watch your stuff. But I don't know how much. Mostly they don't. Here and there I'll get comments from them saying, hey, watch that one, that's good, thank you. But my my one biggest follower was the guy back in Asheville, North Carolina, who I had known peripherally in my 16 years there, and I always thought he was kind of an odd duck, and he is. But he started watching my videos, and he'd leave comments. He was the person who would most leave comments, and mostly they missed the point of the video. He'd respond to some little filigree in there. And then finally it turned out he is a creature of conspiracy theories, and now he's all about RFK for president. He thinks that's the deal. And I'm saying, don't do anything to distract from Joe Biden. We can't let Trump slip in there. RFK is just going to help Trump. And he's a wacko. He is quite a wacko. And so when I realized that this guy was basically pretty whacked, I dropped him. But it leaves me lonelier. And someone who's woken up, there are a lot of people walking around who's woken up. I'll spot them. I'll say, wow, it happened to you, didn't it? Because it's meant to happen to all of us. That's really the process people are supposed to go through, is to realize who they really are. And certain writers, Richard Bach, who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, but then a book called Illusions, Reflections of a Reluctant Messiah. And it's a fable or a fantasy, but it's really his story of what it's like. There's a central story he tells in there about the sea creatures living at the bottom of the river, and they're just clinging for life to the rocks because the river rushes over them. And finally one of them says, I've had it with this, I'm letting go. And he floats up. He floats up. And as he's floating overhead by the other little sea anemones or whatever they are, they're going, it's the Messiah. And he's saying, no, dummy, let go, you can do it too. It's not that hard. And I think he was telling his story of how lonely it can be to have woken up when not many people have, and they no way understand what life is like for you. And your message, I mean, people will have flashes from watching various videos, and they'll say, wow, that's just what I need to see. Or that's just, when I talk to someone, they'll say, wow, that's just what I needed to hear today. So it happens one by one by one. And part of my challenge is to let go of being on Terry Gross National Public Radio. So for a while, when it was all about books, I was going to have a best-selling book, and now it's to have a viral video or lots of followers. But the message I keep coming back to is trust, one step at a time. My old teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, pieces every step, walking meditation. Just, if you take a peaceful step, that's helping to change the world. And his order, and he do things actively to try to stop the Iraq war and stuff too, so you do that too. But let go of the results. That's way above your pay grade. Not my job to be looking at how many followers I have, looking at my YouTube stats. I do look, and sometimes they're encouraging because they say thousands of people saw your stuff last month. We don't know how much of the video they watched, but just for the point of saying, keep going, you're on the right track, keep going, trust, and trust that in this moment, if you die tomorrow, in this moment, the right people are seeing your stuff, the ones who are meant to. Yeah. Ok.